Hey guys, I hope you're having a great morning, night, afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. I just want to start by saying that I did not plan anything for this video. I just want to talk to you guys. This might seem all over the place. This might be, I might be jumping around from topic to topic. Who knows what's going to happen in this video. But before that, if you are not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I basically just share videos about my hair. I sometimes put up vlogs and just share my life with you guys. Just everything. Sometimes I'll put music up. So I don't really have a specific niche, I guess you should say. Just whatever you guys want to see is what I do. So I'm at your service. So if that sounds cool to you, then hit the subscribe button. Make sure to like this video if you guys want to see more hair content from me. So mainly my goal for this video is just to talk to you guys about how to figure out the best way to start your locks, and more specifically with like the sizing, because that's something I kind of had to look into a little bit before I officially decided to go with the size that my locks are. I think these would be considered large if you look at like, I think there's like a whole scale, so I'll pull that up. I'm gonna look on my phone to just double check, but I'll pull it up for you guys to see. So yeah, these would definitely be considered large. There's a particular reason why I chose this size and I'll get into it, but if you haven't started your doc journey yet and you're just trying to figure out like what is the right size, or maybe you just don't have a specific preference, you just want to know what's going to work best for your type of hair, this is what we're going to talk about. So yeah, stay tuned. So the first thing I want to address is thickness, like how thick your natural hair is, because that does play a role into the best size that will fit your hair type. So I'll use myself as an example. My hair is, not trying to brag or anything like that, because I've been told by people, and I feel like every time I say this, people think I'm like bragging about it, but this is just a fact that I've heard from stylists and family members and stuff like that. So anyways, but my hair is naturally very thick, so I had to keep that in mind when deciding what size I wanted to go with for my locks. So because my hair is really thick, I actually went with a larger size. And again, this all depends on what you're trying to go for. I personally was not trying to go for a very like full lock look, if that makes sense. Like I didn't want it to be like almost like an afro with locks. I wanted something that I could manage better, that I could tie like with a hair tie, and I don't have to use like a humongous thing, and it's easier to handle, and it's not like, you know, super like lioness, I guess you could say. And so because of that, I had to go with thicker locks. And some of you guys might think that, oh wow, that doesn't make any sense, because you would think like the thicker you go, then like the more like bigger your hair would look, but that's not actually how that works. I don't know if you guys have ever seen somebody with micro locks, but it does like fill out your hair more when your locks are thinner. One thing that I feel like people don't really think about is the fact that like, because your hair is locked, you know how naturally like the dead ends or whatever the case is would break off through your hair. Because you have locked hair, that all just stays in your hair. Some people think that's weird. I don't really care. That's just it's all my hair anyway. So because of that, it makes your hair a lot thicker than if you were just like a loose natural. Because as a loose natural, you have that normal breakage like whenever you like comb or brush through your hair, and so whatever like density or thickness your hair is, it's gonna maintain that with like a loose natural. But when you have locks, then it creates like, you know, it makes it thicker than it would be if you just did like twists. Like, does that make sense? Hopefully that made sense. I don't know. But with that being said, if I did the micro locks, then my hair, individual lock, would become thicker than how I started my journey. That's another thing that you'll notice as your journey goes on. And maybe I'll have a picture I can show you guys so you guys can see the difference in the thickness of my hair. So you have to keep that in mind when figuring out the size, because it's going to make your hair look a lot more full. If you have thinner hair and you want to have thicker hair, then definitely do micro locks or small locks or extra small, whatever you know you prefer. But if you don't want to have a super full like lioness, is like the only thing I can think of, because I think of a lion when I think of how my hair would look like if I had micro locks, because it literally would look like that. Then micro locks or just smaller locks is probably the way that you want to go. But if you want something that's more relaxed, like this, like how my hair is now, and just kind of just like sits pretty, and it's just, you know, manageable. Like if I wanted to, I could put my hair up, like, you know, it's still thick, but I can still play around with it where it's not like super crazy, you know? Another big thing that you definitely want to consider is the maintenance. One of the biggest reasons why I started my lock journey was because I wanted something that was very low maintenance. Regardless, compared to other hairstyles, locking your hair is probably going to be one of the most low maintenance things you can do with it. So regardless, it's going to be easier for you, but depending on how low maintenance you really want to go, the sizing is definitely going to make a difference as well. So you want to consider that when deciding how thick you want your locks to be started off. Let's say you plan to do your hair yourself, and even if you don't plan to do your hair yourself, you're going to have to sit at the salon for X amount of time while somebody does your hair, and I don't know, that's something you really want to do. But if you really are adamant about, you know, having the micro locks or whatever it is, and you want to sit there, then, you know, by all means, do what you gotta do. But for me personally, I wanted something as low maintenance as possible. So that's something to keep in mind. It's just like, if you would rather only spend an hour retwisting your hair or getting it done by somebody, as opposed to like 5 hours or probably more, depending on how small your locks are, then that's something you really need to take into account when figuring out how thick you want your locks to be. The third and last thing, money. And this is a pretty big deal to some people, and some people it's like, whatever, if I'm gonna have this forever, I don't even care. But there's a pretty big price difference. That's something you really have to take into account when getting started. If you plan on doing it yourself, then maybe you don't have to necessarily worry about that as much. But if you are gonna get it done, then really look at the cost and see like what makes the most sense for you and your finances, and then also what you think is worth the money, you know, because some people would say putting down $300 to get their hair done, and it's like, that's nothing, especially if it's gonna like last a long time. And that's fine, it's just preference. But then also consider not just the initial price, but then the price of just getting it redone by a loctician, because, you know, that price goes up depending on the size of your locks too. So there's a lot of things, a lot of variables here to consider, and that's kind of the thought process I had to go through whenever I started my lock journey. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys, so then you are very mindful, you make the right decisions, and you don't end up in a situation where you don't like what your decision was and you just kind of have to restart the journey again, especially if you've gone like a year with your hair a certain way, or like 6 months. You know, I know that the journey starting up can be difficult, so having a restart is probably not going to be a fun thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got something out of the video, and let me know what else you want to see, or what you want to hear about, and also let me know like what you guys think of this like chill blank background vibe that I'm going for. I'm trying something new. I actually recently moved, so I have like a new space, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to add things back here or just like a plain background is good. I mean, you can see my hair really well, and the lighting is just on point. So I don't know, I kind of like it, but you guys let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. And I just want to remind you guys that Jesus loves you, I love you, and if you haven't heard that anyone's loved you today, then you've heard it twice. So that's a pretty big deal. All right, have a good day. Bye.